Alrighty. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Languages Part 2 as we continue our work. So last time we were working on we had finished up with the halflings and gnomes. Now we need to do the goblinoids and such. So today we work on that. Now, each of these races are going to have different languages naturally, or similar languages in the case of the bugbears, hobgoblins, and goblins. We want a language that diversifies really, really easily based on where you are in the country. And to be honest, I'm trying to think what a good language or a good area of the world map might be good for this. Let's go to the world map, or the map, or a map of the world. So for those wondering, for the goblins, we'll duplicate this. So the first one's gonna go to our maps. This one's gonna go back into our races. I just realized I should probably make sure my beard isn't covered in sauce from when I was eating. For the nations, we have the global, I think it was supposed to be Goblavian Slaver Empire. But regardless, that is over in like the Iran, Turkestan, Pakistan, Afghanistan areas. You know what? Let's look at languages of Iran. So Persian is the main language of Iran. Let's see. Is there a list? Yes, there is. So let's see. We've got. I think we're gonna use Persian as the main language of the hobgoblins, with the goblins speaking maybe Kurdish, I think would be kind of interesting to use. And then for these guys, we're also going to use Turkic. Actually, we'll use... Assyrian might be kind of an interesting one, but instead, I'm going to do Georgian. And then I think for the Kobalas, because they're going to be an offshoot of the original Goblin race here, I think for them, we're going to use Assyrian as the main language, if I could spell. There we go. So that's what languages we're going to go with for them. So that makes that a little quicker. We're not doing the half species right now. We already have Goliaths. We need humans, Nothies, and Nords. So the Goliaths already speak Old Norse. I think for the humans, we're actually going to have them speak Norwegian. And there is a reason why. And then for the Nords, I'm actually going to go with Swedish. And the Nothies are going to speak Finnish, I believe, is what I'm going to go with. Because these two do definitely have a lot of interactions. Actually, these guys evolved out from the Nothies originally, so I think that's going to give a bit more interesting to the dialect, especially because Sweden and Finland are so close together. In fact, they actually used to go to... The people who ruled over the lands used to go to war constantly with each other for it. I think it kind of fits a little bit better. So, easy one for the day. For that... For the, the old world Coronians that I'm going to change the name of again. So they're somewhere in one of these islands. Caribbean. Let's go with the Caribbean languages. Let's see. I think the Haitian Creole will be actually an interesting one for this, because of the fact of how this race is set up. Yeah. think we'll go, well, probably more Haitian, but, you know, yeah. We'll go with Haitian Creole and kind of build them up from that. They're a very unique race in their own right. Okay. Well, this is going to be an interesting one. There's the Orcs of the Old World, and then there's all these. So, there's also the Ogres, so we'll work on those in a minute. Let's start with the Orcs. I am going to go with language, Western American dialect. And we're going to go pretty much the same for the green orcs. We're just going to do an Eastern one. Eastern American dialect for these two races. For half orcs, language, American English, core, mixed with local language. For the red orcs, I'm actually gonna go with a with Scottish or Gaelic. So we're gonna go with that. Ogres, I'm actually going to go with Welsh because they're actually gonna be an offshoot. Eventually the lore is gonna show they are an offshoot of the red orcs originally. Tutu language is going to be yeah, Welsh. And then the Orcs of the Old World, I'm actually going to have speak Irish. What is the Irish language? I forget the name of it. Irish Gaelic, a member of the group of Celtic languages. So they also speak mostly Gaelic. Let's see. Irish slang also called Airse or Gaelic, Irish Gaelige. Yeah, so we're gonna call it Airs. Or actually we'll go with Irish Gaelic. Gaelige. I think that's how you pronounce it. So let's go with that. Easy one, kind of keeping that central like original core kind of idea of the different races for that. So those are all updated. We already did the changelings. We have these races left, which are also very unique. So the changelings, we actually used Elarus. The shifters are going to have the same, but with a more primal dialect. More simple / primal. So that's, you know, very easy language to work off because the shifters are just a subspecies of the changeling. For the Scrofe, I'm trying to think. Let's see. What languages do we have that we can work off of? You know what? I'm going with Samoan. I like the idea of it because the Scrofe are a big, powerful race. They're also very similar to the Samoan people, one of the very few races that have managed to hold off this extremely powerful colonial power and constantly push them back. So I think I'm going to go with Samoan for their language. I think it just fits. For the Artori, these are the horse people. Okay. So in this case, they're actually going to speak a similar language to the halflings of the old world. So we're actually going to copy the language. And the reason why is because the Artori's language is long gone. So we'll go with Tamil. Alright. And for the Loxodon, you know what? I haven't figured out who I want the Loxodon to be based on. But I feel like doing German because of their general, like, bigger builds and typically more honor focused, which was a very big thing for a lot of the German nobility. I mean, that's where the Holy Roman Empire comes from. A lot of the knightly orders come from there. So I think German definitely fits for the Loxodons. So let's go with that. And that was that folder. So now we're in our last listing for the day. We are going to actually change the Tigraxi's name here later to Rakshasa or something similar. Rakshasa based to be updated. Okay. And then we'll do that. So the Vatorni are going to speak the same language as the Aarakocran, which we don't actually have the language yet for. Give me a minute. You know, we'll just do this with each of them. Make sure it's in there. Tabaxi are going to be an easy one here in a minute to do. In fact, actually, I'm going to do them first. They are going to be based on the Korean language overall. So they're an easy one to work on. The Genasi are going to be based on the Lao, or based on the language of Lao. Which is a territory between Vietnam and Thailand, so I think it fits. So I kind of want to work with that. For the Rakshasa, I'm going to go... Well, they're very big on... You know what? I think I'm going to go with Portuguese. Because they're very big on trade, and that's kind of the whole thing of the Portuguese, and I feel it fits as an island nation. Now, for the Vatri and the Aarakocran, because we got these a lot done. Let me think. Because they're based in, like, over towards India. We could have them speak Thai. Actually, Yiddish and Hebrew might... Yeah, I think we're going to go with Yiddish and Hebrew. Because I feel like, since they're a race that existed a long time ago, but have been were hunted down pretty hard, it kind of fits to general history as well. And I kind of like the idea of working off that. Okay, let's go with that. Let's get our last few races. The hardest of the group, in my opinion. Let's get... Because, in my personal opinion, these guys are going to have... Oh, we already have the Toth done, so that helps. So the Toth are doing Dravidian. The Yuan-Ti... I mean, because of the constant coups and constant fight for power... I'm kind of tempted to make their language Myanmar. And let me look at languages in Myanmar. Yeah, let's see. Burmese, it includes Shan, Thai, Karen language, Kachin. Do we have Mon in here? Let me see. They do have Khmer. So I think Khmer for the Warforged as a subset tongue. And then now the hardest one, I think, in my opinion, the Tieflings. Now we could go with the traditional Japanese. And I'm not against that. Honestly, yeah, I'm kind of tempted to go with it because they're one of the more advanced peoples, especially overall in Magic. Is that how you spell Japanese? Japanese. Japanese. There we go. Japanese. All right. Well, it's either there or go with the Maori, but I don't feel that fits. I'm gonna sneeze. Y'all need to stop talking about me, I'm telling you. Okay. That was a little bit easier. So we got the languages now figured out. So I think with all those languages, done. We don't have any of the half races in here. I don't think we have any other races that we needed to do languages for. So I think for now, we'll pretty much call that for the episode today. A little bit easier of work, but this will give us a better chance of kind of doing this, really getting all this lore done now as a core, and getting everything kind of figured out. So thank you all for watching the Languages Part 2 episode, and we will see you on the next one.